I have been growing pepper plants since I was 17 years old, and I'm not going to tell you how old I am, but that's a really freaking long time. However, I've only ever grown about 4 different types of peppers. Out of all of the peppers in the world, I've only grown 4. Thai hot peppers, bell peppers, which I never can live without, jalapenos, again, can't live without them, and banana peppers, I could take them or leave them. Why I've only ever grown these 4 pepper plants is beyond me. I literally have no clue. But today I'm going to show you all of the peppers that I'm growing this year because there's like a plethora of them. I recently discovered a seed company called Baker Creek Heirloom Seeds, and I absolutely love them, and they have so many varieties of peppers. So this year I decided to grow a whole bunch, and I wanted to share it with you all, which ones I'm growing, and also how to start your pepper plants from seed if you've never done that. Starting them indoors can really get a jump start on the season. So let's go ahead and get into this video. So the first thing you are going to want to purchase when starting any seeds indoors is a seed starting kit. Now you can purchase these at various places. I just bought mine at Menards, I think it was. But they have this cool little cover that really helps. It kind of like gives like a greenhouse effect. It keeps everything nice and warm and moist. You're gonna want the middle part where the seeds actually go, and then this bottom tray. This is really gonna help because you're gonna want to water from the bottom. I actually have a video on the basics of starting seeds. You can check that out. I'll leave a link in the description below on my YouTube channel. So I'm not going to get too in-depth about that, but you're going to want this, and then you're going to want a seed starting mix. Now you can either buy this at the store or you can actually make your own, and I also have a video on that I'll link in the description below as well. So you're going to want these basic things. One other thing you're going to want is a heat mat. Now for your cool weather crops, you don't need to worry about a heat mat, but for pepper plants, they really love warm soil. So you're definitely gonna have to purchase a heat mat if you want them to germinate quickly. Now, if you don't care and how long it takes them to germinate, then you can skip the heat mat, but it really, really helps to have one in the case of pepper plants. Highly, highly, highly recommend you get one. So this is the one I have. I purchased this at my local garden center. You can also, I'm sure, find them online. And they're specifically for gardening. I know some heat mats might have a temperature adjustment on it. I just get the one that's specifically made for plants where I don't have to adjust the temperature. It's just set at what it's set at, and that's it. Easy peasy. So the first thing we're going to want to do is go ahead and moisten our soil. I like to do this before I actually place the dirt in the seed cells. You could skip this step, but I think this just kind of makes it easier. So you really want to make sure that it's all nice and moist and not soaking wet. You definitely don't want to completely drench this. Then you're going to have mold, and you don't want that, or algae growing on top. We don't want any of that. We don't want to attract bugs. So we want to keep this moist, not drenching wet by any means. Alright, so now for the exciting part of what pepper plants I'm actually growing this year. And if you don't care, then go ahead and skip over about the next minute and a half or so. So first on the list is Zulu pepper. Look at how beautiful that is. It's like a black pepper. These are sweet, and so I'm guessing they're similar to a bell pepper, but they are way cooler. I'm also growing poblano peppers. Great for stuffing. These peppers are so good. I don't know why I've never grown them before. It's so tragic. Next, I'm growing black Hungarian. I have no idea what these are going to be like. It says they're mildly hot and have a delicious flavor. So I'll soon be finding out if that is true. Next, I'm growing shishito. Now, these are one of my favorite pepper plants, or one of my favorite peppers, and I'm not really sure, again, why I've never grown them, but I haven't. But these are great on the grill. They are a little bit hot, but not too hot, not like a jalapeno or anything. Next I'm growing lilac bell peppers. Look at how beautiful that pepper is. Oh my God. Like I can't, those are so pretty. I cannot wait to see those growing in my garden. They're so cute. All right, I'm also growing a Tabasco pepper. These were introduced into Louisiana in 1848 and became the main ingredient in Tabasco pepper sauce. Very hot and has a delicious flavor, supposedly. So maybe I'll be making my own Tabasco sauce this year. Maybe not, we'll see. Phileas Blue. Now these looked way different online than on the picture here, but I'm guessing they just kind of change colors as they mature. So super excited to grow these. Now this does say that it has a low germination rate, so I'm going to place 2 seeds per cell for these because it says it has a 52% germination rate. So definitely we'll be planting more of these just in case so that I'll be sure to get some. And then last but not least, cayenne pepper, long and thin. That's what she said. Yeah, so cayenne pepper actually has so many medicinal properties, which is why I'm growing them. Last year I tried to grow cayenne peppers and did not have any success at all. I don't know if it was the seeds, if they were bad. I did not get them from this seed company, which is Baker Creek Heirloom Seeds. I got them just from the store, and I think the seeds were old or something, I'm not sure, but I only got one to come up, and then it didn't do anything throughout the season. So I'm guessing that this is probably one of the peppers that are slow growing. And what is so amazing about pepper plants is they're actually perennials. I didn't know that. In all of the years that I've gardened, I had no idea. So now that I know, I can overwinter my pepper plants and then put them outside come spring and have a huge jump start on the growing season. And I have a video about overwintering your pepper plants, and I'll leave a link below once again on my YouTube channel so you can check that out. Highly recommend if you live in a cold area that you do that, because that will definitely ensure you get plenty of peppers and that they fully mature. So let's get to planting these. I'm so excited. So I went ahead and pre-moistened my soil and put them all here in the seed cells, and I packed all of the soil down nice and tight in there. And next I'm just going to start planting. I also already pre-labeled everything so I wouldn't have to worry about that. And I pressed everything down so that I can just kind of place the seeds right on top, and then place some more soil on top of that, or some more seed starting mix on top of that. So first I'm starting with the Black Hungarian peppers. And for all the pepper plants, they're pretty much all of them are going to be about 1/4 of an inch depth. All the ones I'm planting today at least are, and I think for the most part, they're always about 1/4 of an inch deep. So I'm just going to go ahead and place the seed right on top of the soil, right here in the middle. All right, so I have 6 of those, and then I'm just going to keep on doing that for the rest of them. So one of the reasons why you want to start your peppers indoors is because they just take a little bit longer to grow. Things like tomatoes do as well. So, you know, if you're not wanting to buy the actual plant at the store, then you're gonna want to start things like peppers and tomatoes earlier, about 4 to 6 weeks before your last frost date. For me, the last frost date is about April 10th, and I'm starting these in mid-February. I'm starting them a little bit earlier than that, because some of these peppers, I do think that they'll probably take a lot longer to germinate. Not only germinate, but also to mature. And usually when I put my pepper plants out in the garden, they're always, you know, not very big, not like tomatoes. Tomatoes get way too big before I'm ready to put them out. But with peppers, it's not like that. They're usually still fairly small. So I'm trying to get a nice jump start on the season and start them as early as I can. If you live in an area that is warmer in climate and you don't get much of a cold spell throughout the winter, then you could actually start pepper plants a lot sooner if that's the case, if you live in California or somewhere like that. The soil temperature just needs to be about 55 to 65 degrees. So anything below that could really stunt the growth of your peppers. So that's another reason why I just always start them indoors, because my soil temperature is not going to get that high early enough in the season. So some of these seeds are a few years old. Some of my jalapenos and my red peppers. And so I'm going to actually plant 2 seeds per cell for those. And then especially the one that I got from Baker Creek that said, you know, it's a low germination rate. Then I'll plant 2 per cell on those as well. But typically, you know, if you're dealing with just like a new seed packet, I would just do 1 per cell, but you can always do 2 and thin them out later if you want to. All right, so now that I have all of the seeds in my seed cells, I'm gonna go ahead and come in with my pre-moistened soil or seed starting mix and then just lightly cover the peppers. Done with that, I'll go ahead and just press the soil down, getting it nice and compacted. All right, so now that that's done, I'm going to go ahead and put my cover on top of this and then place it on my heat mat. All right, so I have my peppers and my grow area over here on the heat mat, getting nice and toasty. I've got my little greenhouse effect going on with the lid over top of it so it can keep everything nice and moist in there. And then I also have my light, which I've already turned on, because a lot of times these will germinate and then I won't get my light turned on quick enough, and unfortunately they get leggy. So to avoid that, just go ahead and turn the light on, and they should germinate. A lot of times my pepper plants germinate within like 3 to 5 days, so a lot quicker than what they would normally germinate without a heat mat. So definitely recommend a heat mat. And you want your grow light about 4 to 6 inches above the plants. The closer the better. However, if they're too close, they will burn the leaves, so make sure you don't do that. Also, I recommend getting a fan. Once your plants sprout up and you're able to take the top off, then go ahead and put a fan on them to kind of circulate the air. This will prevent mold and algae and stuff like that from growing on top of the soil, which we don't want, because we don't want to introduce diseases to our plants. Once the pepper plants start to get their 2nd set of leaves, and maybe even their 3rd set of leaves, I'll go ahead and transplant them from their little seed cells into a much bigger container, like this size, so that they can have more room to grow and more nutrients. So I'll actually use like a potting mix, something with some food, because what I have them in right now, the seed starting mix, it doesn't have a lot of nutrients, which seeds don't really need a lot of nutrients to germinate. They just need them once their 2nd set of leaves start to form. So once that happens, I will transplant them. That's really it, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. If you liked this video, please like it, and please share and subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't already. Thank you all so much.